Noche UFC is going down in Las Vegas this weekend, and I'm pumped to see who comes out on top. I've partnered up with DraftKings, and they got an offer that is perfect if you're looking to get closer to the action. Right now, all new customers that bet just $5 will instantly get $250 in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. When you sign up, use my promo code SONNEN. DraftKings, the crown is yours. That's $250 in bonus bets instantly after betting just $5. Staying on the action and use your $250 in bonus bets on DraftKings same-game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun at DraftKings with daily fantasy and have a shot at all the prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. New customers, use my promo code SONNEN. Bet just $5 and get $250 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code SONNEN only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Ortega Lopes. I can't let this go. I mean, I'm in Vegas, right? So there's a feel. What do kids they call it? An energy? Great. It's around that match. That is the one that people keep on talking about. Now, Ortega it's called fighter meetings. And that term gets thrown out on the broadcast every now and then. Like Anik and Cormier, Joe Rogan, they might throw out, well, during the fighter meetings, he said, just to let you know what that means. That gets put on the schedule every single week. So every time you're going to fight, travel day's Tuesday. Wednesday, every fighter will report to fighter meetings. And that is where the broadcast team will speak to them and say, hey, how was training camp? Hey, how you feeling? Where do you go from here? All this type of stuff. Trying to get something that might personalize that they can then say during the broadcast. All right. Filling you in on what that means. But Jon Anik was very big when he was telling about his fighter meeting with Lopes. That Lopes did not talk about anything except the finish. He kept saying, I have to finish him. I have to finish him. Now, there's a language barrier. And then we're playing telephone, right? This was said in front of Anik. I wasn't even there. Anik's telling me. But I did wonder, conceptually, what does he mean? Valentina Shevchenko has talked about this. She said, I can't win a decision. Is Lopes saying he can't win a decision? Being the Brazilian fighter taking on Ortega, American, but representing the Mexican theme of the evening, is that what he's talking about? Or was something promised to Lopes, but he needs a finish to get it? And that does happen in our industry. Those kinds of comments do get made. Hey, come do this. If you get a finish, here's what happens, just by example. And Lopes kept talking about the finish. Now, guess what's happened, guys? The line has closed in favor of Ortega. I agree with that. I have seen with my own eyes Brian Ortega lose 2 fights. One of them was a very weird incident with Rodriguez, and the other one was against Holloway, but Ortega didn't lose because he wasn't skilled enough. In fact, I've never seen Ortega in a match where he didn't have the skills. I've never seen Ortega overwhelmed. In the Holloway fight specifically, he reached a level of exhaustion. That's that 5th gear that Max has. That was the championship experience that Max has. That's the intangible. There's nothing against Ortega. And I'm only sharing with you, like, even while Lopes is the favorite here, I'm confused how we got to that point. I've asked people, I'm told he hits so hard, he's so young, he's dynamic, and he represents the next generation. All of those things are true. He's also ranked number 13, and Ortega is ranked number 3. Lopes is also a rising star who looked a little fatigued in his last fight. Lots on that. I get it. He came out here for a 45-pound contest, ends up in the ring, totally different opponent at a 165-pound contest. That will tire you out. I get it, but the only thing I've ever seen get the jump on Ortega is an intangible known as conditioning, which largely has to do with your DNA and your makeup, and I don't think that is a weapon that Lopes possesses to the skill that, say, Max Holloway does. I have a hard time seeing how Lopes is going to win this fight. Now, if he's going to knock him out, if he's going to finish him, great. Anybody can win a fight. You don't have to be better than the other guy if you can knock him out. All you got to do is knock him out. But to have Lopes himself speaking about, I have to finish, it does make me curious as to why. And I got credit. I got credit for telling the MMA world, because I said it on a Joe Rogan Experience. And then Joe quoted later, said, Chael Sonnen said, if you ever look for the finish, you will not win the decision. And I appreciate the credit, because I might have brought that over to the MMA world, but that's from Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson talked about that, and he talked about it because he always looked for the finish. He was talking about himself. He was talking about a weakness that he had. And he was saying it's risk reward. I get a lot of praise and I keep knocking guys out, but if you try to knock them out, you will not win a decision. You don't have the energy left. Trying to knock out Brian Ortega, solely banking on the idea that you are going to knock out Brian Ortega, and you've only got 3 rounds to do it. I just share with you, as the line is changing, and this thing was 2.5 to 1 at one point for Lopes. 2 to 1 felt a little more right. And even I, as a Ortega defender, I recognized something happened in the last fight. Something happened where he could not make weight. Regardless of how that fight would have been, there was something missing from the camp. There was some lack of discipline. I admit it. But for this fight to be closer to even money, we're not quite there. It's still favoring Lopes, but you got a negative 132, a plus 150, man. This thing's getting pretty tight when it started at a 2 to 1 spread. I agree with it. I agree that I still think that's the fight of the night. I still think there's going to be a lot of eyeballs. There's going to be a lot of pressure. There's going to be a lot of talk. Ortega has proven an ability to deal with that and compartmentalize. It's still a question mark on Lopes for anybody that hasn't been in that spot. And trying to get the jump on a conditioned fighter that's part of the 5-round club when you've only got 15 minutes to do it, it's a tall order. And according to Lopes himself, he's going to be looking for the finish. And more credit to him, because I believe a finish is the only way he's going to win.